What a game it has turned out to be, the curtain opener of Women's T20 Challenge between Supernovas and Velocity, a game where the last 5 overs 50 runs was needed, but Velocity came back really strong. Sunny Lees and Shrishma Verma completely changed the course of the game. Initially there was a thought whether Supernovas really had an upper hand till the halfway mark, but the way that these two completely turned the game upside down and picked up a huge victory for Velocity by a margin of 5 wickets and a ball to spare. Velocity won. Mithali Raj won the toss and opted to bowl first, saying that Dew will possibly come into play in the later part of the game that we have witnessed all over in the men's IPL. On the intensity and the way they fielded Velocity, they asked what is meant by rustiness. Does it really exist? That's how they play their cricket, because being out of the field for almost 6 to 7 months, they were back in Ekta Beshik when Veda Krishnamurthy, they were spot on, taking the catches and hitting the direct throws. Shika Pandey and Janara Alam really started well, but they had a bit of a concern because Janara Alam wasn't getting those lines right. She just bowled in a full toss that gave a freebie, and also Shika Pandey was trying to get the ball to swing inside. She didn't get that kind of a swing that she expected. Maybe probably she offered a bit of a width for the batswomen to work on, but when Lee Casper came in to bowl in the power play, she really bowled deliveries that really was outside off stump, didn't allow Chamari Attapattu to play her natural game, to bring the sweep into the equation. She really kept it tight, and also picked up wicket of Priya Punia. She just tried to clear the long on boundary. Veda Krishnamurthy picked up a convincing catch, which provided the first breakthrough. From there, there wasn't much of a partnership building. Jemima Rodriguez, she scored 7 runs and tried to go for an expensive sweep rather than trying to hit through the line of the ball. She missed it completely. Ekta Beshik is a kind of a bowler who really bowls stump to stump. The tighter line and lengths that she brings into the table, you can't afford to miss a delivery if you're going to go for that expensive cross-batted shots, which really cost them the game, I would say, because a partnership from Jemima Rodriguez and Chamari Attapattu would have been a very huge thing in this particular surface, because at the later end of the game, the shots really paid off. Calculated risk that Velocity took really paid off. Then a decent partnership built between Harmanpreet Kaur and Veda Krishnamurthy. They really had a decent run rate. They kept the scoreboard ticking, but it was much needed. After the timeout, they started to hit few big shots. We saw a couple of sixes from Chamari Attapattu, and as well as from bat of Harmanpreet Kaur. It looked like they were well settled and time to make a big move. Chamari Attapattu lost a wicket. Janara Alam picked the wicket of Chamari Attapattu. She was caught by Veda Krishnamurthy at long on. Also, Harmanpreet Kaur lost a wicket. She really didn't. That wasn't in her natural game. She really likes to power and muscle it over a cow corner, mid wicket or a long on, but she tried to clear the fielder at fine leg, because fine leg was inside the circle. She attempted a cheeky shot but ended to be a soft dismissal that really turned the tides, because they weren't able to get a momentum going on. Two settled batsmen losing their wicket at a crucial time. Whenever partnership built it and they wanted to accelerate, they lost the wicket at regular intervals. That really put them down. Also, Pooja Vastrkar came up the order ahead of Tanya Bhatia to bring her ability to strike the ball, which didn't go well. Was out going straight over the bowler's head against Lee Kasparik. Also, Sirivardhane was run out by Shushma Verma. And finally, Radha Yadav and Shakira Silliman fell on the last 2 deliveries of the innings, ended up with just scoring 126, which is a way below par score than the anticipated one. Velocity came into bat. She opened with Daniel White and Shafali Verma. I said one of the most destructive opening pairs in the business right now. If they can do If they too had a great start, it would have been a different game. But Ayabanka Kaka really bowled excellent first over. She allowed the ball to swing inside. When she looked like to counter the swing, she just tried to move down the track. Tania Bhatia came up to the stumps, stopping her to get out of the crease, and she tried to cut the ball and was caught behind by Tania Bhatia. The first over, Daniel Ward was dismissed for a duck, and Shafali Verma really took the game towards the opposition. Tania Bhatia did the same. Shafali Verma just came down the track and hit one boundary over a long on, and Tania Bhatia came up to the stump, but she wasn't able to stop her. She stood deep inside the crease and scored boundaries. Also, she used her feet well to score over the long off boundary. Was really timing the ball really well. But finally, she was out to Ayabanka Kaka as well, to a full toss, because that would have been a most disappointing way to be getting dismissed of a juicy full toss. She could have hit it anywhere, but she just picked the fielder at square leg, Shakira Silliman. Mitali Raja and Veda Krishnamurthy really wanted to take the game till the last over. One need to stay till the end, another need to free her arms. Veda Krishnamurthy was really doing that well, but pressure was building on Mitali Raja because she took around 18 deliveries for the 7 runs. At a moment, she need to accelerate. Siddhi Vardhane was introduced into the attack, seeing an off spinner. She tried to slog sweep but was caught at deep again by Shakira Silliman. Veda Krishnamurthy and Sushma Verma had to build up a partnership. Veda Krishnamurthy really had a great start, 28 of 29 deliveries, when it looked like she might play a bigger role in this run chase. She lost her wicket to Radha Yadav, attempting to go for an inside out, was caught by Chamari Atapattu. How many times we have seen Veda Krishnamurthy not converting stat she has got into a bigger one, but thank God Sushma Verma and Sunil Lees were able to pull this off a victory, because almost like a 10 at the end of the 15th over they were needing around 50 runs. Sushma Verma really started to striking well. She hit a couple of sixes, one of Poonam Yadav. They targeted one of the best bowler, Poonam Yadav. Sushma Verma just came dancing down the track to clear the boundary long on, and she gave a single to Sunil Lees, and Sunil Lees cleared the mid wicket fielder, playing a slog sweep that really changed the game. They completely reversed the pressure on Super. Sushma Verma lost her wicket in the 19th over, going for an expensive shot against Poonam Yadav too. She was in a hurry to finish things off. She doesn't want it to miss the opportunity. She doesn't want it to take the game till the last over. But finally, in the last over, when 9 runs were needed, first costly mistake was a drop catch from Tania Bhatia. She was exceptionally well with the cloud till the end of the game, but the drop catch, that delivery went to the boundary, which allowed Velocity to pick up a convincing victory over the defending champions Supernovas. Now they have just put pressure on Supernovas, and tomorrow it's going to be Velocity taking on the Trailblazers with a victory up their sleeve. It's going to be a very crucial thing for them to carry forward. Let's see how the game turns out to be.